morning to everyone. I'm living for last 30 years in Europe, so we are very informal there. So we just start actually. But in India, we have a ritual that we have to also say a few words about delegates or dignitary cities on the dais. So before, I always forget that actually. Then in the end, I remember, I have not done that one. So before I forget, actually, Professor Sitaram, he is our colleague from the sense that he was also previous director of IIT Guwahati, and so we have a part of the IIT Council. So we met him many times, and now I saw first time Professor Bharat, Shalinji, and Mr. Jhaji. So it's great pleasure for me to be here. And sometime when people say that, you know, who is this person? I say, I don't know actually, because I was living for last 30 years abroad. So I joined as a director of IIT Ropar 2 years back. So this was a new experiment which ministry has done with me actually. So they bring the director from outside. In the IIT, history of IIT, there was no director came directly from outside and become a director. And I have given 2 challenges by ministry at that time. One is that how to bring academia and industry on the same table. And other was that how we can do the internalization of our education system. So our students should not go abroad rather than other people from living from other countries. They should come to India and study in India. So, so we are working in that direction, and IIT Ropar is growing in that direction. So I always say that I don't want to follow other 22 IITs because we have now 23 IITs. So we want to grow through IIT Ropar, want to grow through research and innovation. We are producing the world-class engineers. There is no question IITs are doing this. And this is now we are doing for last 70 years. But we have to bring some changes actually. So we have to bring this innovation culture and how the research can be connected to the innovation. When we talk about research, we talk about translational research. We are not talking the incremental research. So we have to think how these two can be integrated in our system, so we can be one of the developer, what we say, Viksit Bharat, what we call by 2047. So before starting this, because here the topic is industry academia collaboration. So I forget one thing. I want to thank all of you, but I will also like to thank Tane. Actually, he forced me to come to here, actually. So he was very persistent to calling me every day and putting me on the pressure on me and that I should come here. And it's a wonderful that I came here. So when we talk about industry academia, in India we are missing that. First thing, okay, industry academia, they never talk. And I know why they don't talk, actually. I was talking to one of the big companies here, and we have a TV debate also in the Indian School of Business and IISB in Mohali. And on the other side, Munjalji was sitting, and we have a long discussion on the TV show, and then in the end, Munjalji told that Rajeev know how to sell IIT in the end. So I tried to convince him, we are not that kind of IITs where we can make a promise and we don't deliver. Because industry is working on very tight timelines. So we have to keep our timeline in academia. Because industry want to deliver, but if we don't deliver on time, for them it's no meaning. So they work on the timeline, and academia doesn't work on the timelines. उनका वो ऐसे है कि चल रहा है अभी. So we have to bring that kind of change. And other thing is also that in Western countries, especially in Sweden, industry come to academia, not academia go to industry. That culture we have to bring. But here what industry want that academia should come to them. They are the big bosses. It's not like that. But in Western countries, industry need academia. So for example, in Sweden, we have a mentor universities for each institution. For example, I come from Uppsala, so our mentor industry is ABB. And if you go to Stockholm at KTH, the mentor industry is Sandvik. And if you go to Chalmers, then mentor industry is Volvo. So these companies, we work together. So they are the industry don't want to put much efforts in R&D. They say, we have academia. Academia should do R&D for us. Not why we should do R&D when we have a world-class universities in India, we have a world-class IITs, we are supplying manpower to the whole world. But within in India, we are not doing enough for our own institution. Just funding some money, I do not say that peanuts. You want something, for that peanuts, you want something that academia should do wonderful. So we have to think about also about. And research is a long time process when we talk about research. But industry doesn't want to give time. वो बोलते हैं कि I have a timeline, I have to deliver a product in 3 months. But how research can be done in 3 months? So I was talking to one of the big company CEO. This is a big giant in software. He asked me, Rajeev, can you give me a product in 3 months? I said, this is not IT industry. We are doing research development. Right? So it takes time. So the industry should also have a patience, and academia should deliver on the time, and academia should have the accountability. So research is a key part, an important part of any industry academia collaboration. For example, if you work with the ABB, they are one of the biggest suppliers in transformers, and so they come to us that in a big transformer they are using the oil, and for insulation they are using cellulose. And this cellulose is degrading because this oil is at high temperature. Can you tell me how I can avoid this degradation in the big transformers? This transformer is bigger than this room. So they say, okay, can you do a research? How? I said, tell me, what is your composition of the oil? Bolte, that is secret. I say, why is secret? Because the company which supplying oil to the ABB, they are not giving them exact composition because they also want to control the market. So they say, okay, I can tell you the 3 component, rest you can mix it yourself. So research then done. So research, we find a solution, and we tried different combinations and say, okay, this is the way you can avoid the degradation of the cellulose in big transformers. So this is the way industry has to work with academia. And we should, in academia also, we should have more like industry academia meet actually. So at least if in IITs you go there, at least they should have per semester 2 meetings. And they should invite all these industries, like there in European countries. Even my mentor industry is ABB, but I get problem from Volvo, Sandvik, everybody. So they send those information 2 weeks in advance of when the event is starting. So we all faculty members sit together in the whole university and try to solve those problems. So this is the way we can cut the way, and we can talk directly to the industry. And other thing is, when we talk to the industry, I don't want that our faculty members should talk to the industry. Our students should talk directly to the industry. So like our PhD student in IIT system, because in the end they have to work. Professor will just sit in his office and put the tie, and he will never go even to the lab. So institution can grow only when we put the student in the front. So they have to talk directly to the industry. And other thing is also, we should not forget about our basic sciences. I can tell you, basic science is the mother of innovation. You tell me which country is the most innovative country and what is the situation of basic science in that country. We all know that if you look at European countries, especially small Nordic countries, Sweden, they are third in the innovation index. And India is at 40th place. So India was way back. Now India is also improving. They come to the 40th. And I want to see India as in top 10 in innovation country. So innovation can be bring through the basic science. When your fundamentals are clear, then you can do the research, then you can be innovative. So now, right now, what we have the approach is basically, we are coming from the top-down approach. When IITs, people join IIT, then maybe in fourth year, you'll start to do incubate company or start the startups or do the innovation kind of things. But we should bring this from the school. As Professor Singh, Shailenji already mentioned that if you want to bring a changes, we have to change our school education system. Another thing is that we have to how to minimize this coaching culture. And when the students are entering in the IITs or IIMs, they should not come, or in medical college through NEET, they should. You look at it 70s or 75, IIT doesn't, the student doesn't come through this coaching culture. So we are killing the creativity of our kids. They are learning how to solve the problem, then you get a 4 answer, you have to take 1. But they don't know the basics. They don't know how to solve the problems. So when they come to the IITs in first semester, they flunk. Because they are not used to have this descriptive type of questions to deal. So we have to change our education system also, and otherwise we can say that with a very young country like India, where average age is around 35 years, and we have now younger institutions like IITs, especially when I talk at the IITs, I always talk about younger IITs. So I don't want to talk about the older IITs, because I always say that younger IITs will deliver. Because older IITs can deliver, but they have already enough. So the zeal and the energy the younger IITs has, and they can deliver. I trust you. You trust me. And especially in my case, when I say that if I say I will deliver, I will deliver. I will not make false promise to anyone. I don't want to sign MOU because just to, MOU is a piece of a paper hanging on that. I have with 20 industry MOUs, but we are not producing anything. I will thank you, all of you, to listening to me, and thank you very much.